Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only Hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Hosting Cruz, and guys, it's resurfaced again. Subriel Matias versus Elvis Rodriguez, the Dominican kid. The news of this fight has resurfaced. Since Teofimo has threatened to come out of his top rank contract. He lately has not been, for some reason, satisfied with his contract, saying he's too expensive. They can't afford me anymore. Like you're gonna see right here in the image. I'm gonna read it to you guys in a second. So he says Teofimo, the top-ranked ESPN contract deal ends on July 26, 2025. And for contractual reasons cannot overlap another network deal until then. If so, it becomes a conflict of interest which combine their current contract, their need Teofimo to get more lucrative network deal. And then he said, I am too expensive for top rank, but the truth is, Todd DeBoeuf is the issue here. He hasn't liked me or my father since I started the takeover in 2018 and probably beforehand. Now he is the chairman of Top Rank, so people do the math. By law, I have freedom of speech, like everyone does. What's the buyout for? What's the number for my buyout? Unless Teofimo can pull off a Mayweather and buy out his contract, then that's good for him, right? But this tarnishes the Subriel Matias versus Teofimo Lopez fight talks and negotiations, because if somehow Teo can get out of Top Rank, get out of his contract, then the fight collapses, because the fight was going to be taking place on ESPN, which is showcased by Top Rank, which is, the promotional banner for fights is Top Rank. So once Teo is able to get out of that contract, then say goodbye to the Matias fight. Now, more than likely, based on what's going on out there, is leading more towards no Teo versus Matias. Now, some people still are saying that the fight may happen, that it will go on. I'm not feeling that way no more. It's leaning towards more Subriel versus Elvis Rodriguez. Remember a while back that fight was in talks, and all of a sudden the Teo Matias fight came about. That's looking to collapse, and now here we go back again to Subriel Matias versus Elvis Rodriguez. And by the way, if for some reason now Teo versus Matias collapses, this is, in my opinion, the second best option for Subriel Matias, because Elvis Rodriguez, he is 5 foot, almost 5'11", 28 years old, a few years younger than Subriel. Can box, excellent, good counter puncher, excellent right hook, good punching power, always in an exciting fight, and of course have something to prove, and is hungry. He's never been a world champion, something that Subriel Matias has been in the past, former IBF junior welterweight champion. And he's a dangerous opponent for Subriel. When I spoke to Matias before my interview with him, he acknowledges Elvis Rodriguez, like he respects him as an opponent because he's strong, he hits hard, he acknowledges the beautiful right hook that Elvis Rodriguez possesses, which is, in my opinion, his money punch. You take that, you're most likely to go sleep, get dropped, get hurt really badly. You need a good chin to take that punch. And so Subriel also acknowledges that right hook. He's aware of that right hook. He's got to be careful with that in that fight, if they fight. Even though Matias can take a good shot, he's never been dropped. He's been taking he's taken some titanic shots from Ergashev, Jukinbaya, Ponce, guys that can crack. Matias has one of the best chins in boxing. And today, and maybe in all of boxing. So yeah, when we spoke, but before the interview, he was very he acknowledged Elvis a lot. He respected him as he respects him as an opponent. So it's not an easy fight. This is the fight for the number one spot in the IBF rankings to fight the champion who is Richardson Hitchens. So this is a big opportunity for both men. It's an important fight for both men. It's an IBF eliminator, so this fight is 12 rounds. So it is an explosive matchup. Stylistically, guys, this fight has the makings to be one of the best fights this year in terms of action. Elvis and Matias are going to be right in front of each other. They're not going to be playing cute. So no one is going to be hard to find in that ring. Both guys are just going to give it their all. I can see this fight being a shootout for as long as it lasts. Both guys landing titanic shots in each other. It's who can take the most shots until it lasts. And in my opinion, not because I'm a Matias fan and I'm Puerto Rican, but I can see this fight being what it is. A fun firefight. Both guys landing heavy blows on each other. Until the later rounds, like maybe in the 8th or 9th, Elvis has a problem, has a history of swelling up in fights. And Matias, once he sticks around in those later rounds and gets stronger as he always does, and he starts to land those vicious combinations and that output on Elvis, I can see Elvis getting busted up, swollen up, and fading, because Elvis has a tendency to fade in fights as well. If the Matias that fought before, if the Matias before Paro goes in there with Elvis, Elvis has a serious problem. He's dealing with a serious problem because Matias is not going to stop throw punches. This is the fighter that throws 80 punches per round, so that's a thing that Elvis is going to have to look out for. The output of Matias, the barrage of punches, the punching power, the thudding blows, the arm punches, the pressure. Savage, man. He's just an animal. Matias is just a different animal. So before the power fight, if that version of Matias steps in there with Elvis, Elvis is not gonna be pretty for Elvis. Now Elvis will hold his own. Elvis will fight back. He's gonna do tremendous in spots, land that right hook. I don't know if this is the Matias that steps. If this is the Matias before the power, I don't know if it's gonna be enough for Elvis, man. It's gonna be a war, but I think Matias gets him out of there in the 8th or 9th round. Honestly, I mean, it's boxing; anything can happen. I think Elvis is naturally the bigger guy in that ring. He's 5 feet, almost 5'11". He's a solid guy. So if Teo Matias doesn't happen, this is a tremendous plan B for Subriel because he will gain something out of this fight. He will beat a very familiar face and a highly ranked fighter at 140. So Subriel Matias versus Elvis Rodriguez, ladies and gentlemen, that is the talk now. And that fight has been resurfaced in terms of news that is all over social media once again. So I hope it happens, actually. If Teofimo Matias doesn't happen, I hope Subriel Matias versus Elvis Rodriguez will happen. And that would be a tremendous fight in Puerto Rico because you got the Dominicans against the Boricuas. And there's a lot of Dominicans in Puerto Rico. So they will show up. They will show up. That fight will do tremendous numbers. Will bring a good crowd in Puerto Rico. So that would be good. Yeah. Just want to come out here and talk to you guys about that tremendous fight, man. What do you guys think about Subriel Matias versus Elvis Rodriguez, Dominican kid? Subriel 21-2, 21 KOs versus Elvis Rodriguez 17-1, 1 draw, 13 knockouts. So both guys can crack based on their resumes, and of course, if you've seen them fight, you know what I'm talking about. And these two guys, they don't play for keeps, man. The punches these two guys throw have knockout written all over them. So, Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Wilson Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, guys. It is always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.